All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chris's Sports Corner. As you can tell, still trying to get my voice right, but hope everybody's having a great Saturday, Sunday, probably now. Um, so let's talk about this Lakers Raptors game, if we will. Um, First of all, the Toronto Raptors are not to be forgotten. Like, they are the champs for a reason. And they don't feel like when Kawhi left, so did they championship chances. And they showed that tonight. And you know what I found interesting is they did a comparison between this year and last year. Exact same record. Exact same record. So the Toronto Raptors are definitely looking to make that push for the playoffs. Make that push for the championship. They're definitely in the playoff, but make that push for the championship. And they led by Kyle Lowry. Now, let me just say this. Kyle Lowry is your definition of, I got pure effort, I got talent and effort, and I'm going to give it to you every second I can. And that was definitely on display tonight, man. And there's nothing that you could take away from them. Like, this is not something that, you'd be like, oh, well, if the Lakers would have, no. The Raptors came out and played championship ball, and they deserved to beat the Lakers tonight as they did. They came out, they fought, they were scrappy, they played good defense, and they stuck to what they knew, and they relied on it. And one more thing I want to say about the Raptors, and I said this last year, you can go back and watch some of my videos. I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again. Nick Nurse is the most underrated coach in the NBA, man. You look at the way he came, his strategy against the Lakers. You look at his strategy against Milwaukee. Yeah, it didn't hurt that he had Kawhi last year, but you look at the strategy he had last year. Look at the strategy that he played against Golden State. Like, Nick Nurse, to me, is one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA, and I think it's time we put a little respect on Nick Nurse's name. That guy can coach. He can coach, and how you can tell a coach can coach is when he got no prior coaching experience, but he could put something. And I'm speaking of him last year, but he could put something in place, and the team be like, yep, that's what we're gonna do. What coach just said, and they follow it, and it works. That's a good coach. Now let's talk about these Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about them. This is the thing. I'm watching LeBron, and I'm like, he's trying to do what he did against the Clippers, right? He's pretty much saying, y'all keep it close, I'll come close it. I understand. I think I understand what's going on. They want to get these role players going, right? They want to get guys going, so in the playoffs, it's not all on his shoulders and everyone else is a threat. Well, that worked against the Clippers because Anthony Davis was going. Anthony Davis was hot. But tonight, Anthony Davis wasn't going. Anthony Davis wasn't hot. And it was a battle, but LeBron wasn't, forcing the action early. And I think he felt as though, all right, let's keep it close. And then in that fourth quarter, I can close the deal. But you got to also understand that a team like the Raptors are not going to keep giving up a lead. Once they get their hand on it, they're thinking, we can't get this lead back. And you got a person like Kyle Lowry who will literally throw himself in front of a train to get a charge, or throw himself in front of a train to get a bucket. Like, this guy goes all out. And the team is reflecting of that. And then once they get momentum, and they did, and once they start to get momentum late in that fourth quarter, you're like, okay, this out of hand. This out of hand, because they feed off of him so much. And LeBron, and I understand, first of all, I'm not putting too much into this, because it is these are seeding games. They're number one. They could have locked it up tonight with a win. But I'm quite sure they will. I'm not too concerned about that. But I do think that as we start, these seeding games are cool, but we got to start to see what it's going to really look like, because you can't do this in the playoffs. Like, LeBron can't be like, all right, y'all take care of the first three. I'm going to close in the fourth. Like, that ain't going to work night in and night out, all right? Anthony Davis tonight just wasn't aggressive, you know, and he has those games. Like, you'll see that game against the Clippers where it's just amazing, and then you see a game like tonight, it's just like he just wasn't in it. I think they had some Clipper hangover. They got up for that game. That game was so intense, it was so draining, that they kind of mullied into this one, and then ran up into another physical team, because the Clippers is a physical team. But the Raptors are a physical team too. And so every time the Lakers would dish out some punishment, the Raptors would dish out some punishment. So, yeah, man, overall, you know, I watched this game and I kept waiting for someone to go, yo, let's take this over. Let's take this over. And it never happened. They got back, they got in front, but you never felt like, oh, they got this. They got this. You never felt that way. You felt like, okay, here they come. Oh. You know, but one more person I want to talk about, man, and he struggled down at the end, kind of, but Kyle Lowry had it going, so he kind of was in a hard place. But Kyle Kuzma is emerging, and I'm liking everything I'm seeing from him. Kyle Kuzma has, to me, been the biggest surprise so far in this restart. Kyle Kuzma is playing ball. He's playing the role that you wanted him to play. He's playing the role that you kept him when you trade everyone else. He's playing that now. He's distributing the ball. He's playing defense, and he's upset when he make a mistake on defense. He's adjusting. He understands he's not going to be number one or the number two guy, but he want to relish in that third role and be a major factor in that role. And I think he's buying in. So with that, you know, I'm pleased on that front. But what I will say, man, is the Lakers got to make some adjustments, because for LeBron just waiting until the end of the game or to like the fourth quarter start get it going. Hey, that switch don't always flip like that. I know this is a season game. I'm quite sure it'll be a little different in the playoffs. And I'm not overly upset. It's a little disappointing. But again, like I said at the top of this video, I don't want to take nothing away from the Raptors. The Raptors are a legitimate title contenders. And if you're not careful, they'll be right back there again. They'll be back there. I know about Milwaukee. I know Milwaukee's a beast, but they kind of feel like they got a cheat code to Milwaukee. That's just being there. So that's my take on that game, man. The Lakers, we took the L tonight. We're going to go ahead and chop it up. It is what it is. LeBron and them Lakers, they got to get off to a faster start. But again, the Toronto is a good defensive team. So with that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, man, you guys be great.